afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the I-66 Commuter Choice public hearing. My name is Ann McGrain, and I'm the Director of Programs and Policy at the Northern Virginia Transportation Commission. We're excited to hear your feedback on the projects under consideration for the fiscal year 27-28 I-66 Commuter Choice funding. NVTC's I-66 Commuter Choice program reinvests toll revenues from I-66 into transit and other transportation projects that help reduce congestion and improve mobility across the I-66 corridor. And we're excited to present the projects under funding consideration and to hear your thoughts. With me is Daniel Nickelbein, NVTC's Commuter Choice Program Manager, and he will briefly present on the projects. Thank you again for joining us today. I'll now turn it over to Daniel.
Thank you, Anne, and thank you for attending today's I-66 Commuter Choice public hearing. I'm NVTC Commuter Choice Program Manager Daniel Nickelbein, and before we begin taking public comments, I'm going to provide a brief presentation on the projects proposed to receive I-66 Commuter Choice FY 27-28 funding. Before I do that, a few housekeeping notes. After the presentation, if you'd like to make a comment, please click the Raise Hand button on your screen. If you're having technical difficulties, use the Q&A button and describe the issue you're having. I will now cover the projects under consideration for Commuter Choice funding. The first project under consideration is Loudoun County's Route 483-883 Harmony Park and Ride to Downtown Washington, D.C. Enhanced Service Project. Commuter Choice funding would support the continued operation of one morning and one afternoon commuter bus trip between the Harmony Park and Ride lot in western Loudoun County and downtown Washington, D.C. The proposed funding amount is $219,005. The next project is OmniRide's Route 622 Haymarket to Roslyn Express Service Project. Commuter Choice funding would support the continued operation of OmniRide Route 622, which provides service between the Heathcote and University Boulevard Park and Ride lots and the Roslyn-Ballston corridor. This funding would also provide for one additional morning and afternoon trip. The proposed funding amount is $605,600. Next up is Loudoun County's Leesburg Park and Ride to Downtown Washington, D.C. new service. Commuter Choice funding would support one new morning and one new afternoon commuter bus trip between the Leesburg Park and Ride lot and Washington, D.C. This new route would provide a direct trip between Leesburg and downtown Washington without stopping at the Dulles Transit Center. The proposed funding amount is $269,698. The next project under consideration is Loudoun County's 281-681 Stone Ridge Park and Ride to Downtown Washington, D.C. Enhanced Service. Commuter Choice funding would support the continued operation of two morning and two afternoon commuter bus trips between the Dulles South, Stone Ridge 2, and East Gate Park and Ride lots in downtown Washington, D.C. The proposed funding amount is $476,008. Next up is Arlington County's Ballston MU Metro Rail West Entrance Project. Commuter Choice funding would support the construction of a second entrance to the Ballston MU Metro Rail station at the intersection of Fairfax Drive and Vermont Street in Arlington, approximately a quarter-mile west of the existing entrance. The second entrance will include two street-level elevators, stairs connecting to an underground passageway, and a mezzanine with access to the platform. The proposed funding amount is $20 million. The next project is OmniRide's Route 612, Gainesville to Pentagon Navy Yard Express Service. Commuter Choice funding would support the continued operation of OmniRide Route 612, an express bus service running between the University Boulevard commuter lot in Gainesville and major employment areas, including the Pentagon, L'Enfant Plaza, and Navy Yard. The proposed funding amount is $1,773,700. The next project under consideration is OmniRide's Gainesville to Central Northeast DC new express service. Commuter Choice funding would support the operation of a new commuter bus route from the University Boulevard commuter lot in Gainesville to the Union Station, Noma area in Washington, D.C. Funding would also be used to purchase 5 coach buses for deployment on the new route. The proposed funding amount is $9,445,500. Next up is Fairfax County's Route 698, Stringfellow Road Park and Ride to the Pentagon Express service. Commuter Choice funding would support the continued operation of Fairfax Connector Route 698, an express bus service operating between the Stringfellow Road Park and Ride lot, Vienna Metro Station, and the Pentagon. The proposed funding amount is $1,684,916. Next is Fairfax County's Route 699 Monument Park and Ride to downtown Washington, D.C. express service. Commuter Choice funding would support the continued operation of Fairfax Connector Route 698, an express bus service operating between the Monument Drive Transit Center and downtown Washington, D.C. This funding would provide for 3 new morning and afternoon trips, the purchase of a new hybrid bus to support enhanced service, and expand the route to serve the Farragut West Metro Station. The proposed funding amount is $4,588,744. The next project is Fairfax County's Route 697, Stringfellow Road Park and Ride to L'Enfant Plaza Express service. Commuter Choice funding would support the continued operation of Fairfax Connector Route 698, an express bus service operating between the Stringfellow Road Park and Ride lot and L'Enfant Plaza in Washington, D.C. This funding would provide for 3 new morning and 4 new afternoon trips, as well as the purchase of a new hybrid bus to support enhanced service. The proposed funding amount is $4,072,453. Next up is Arlington County's Route 55 East Falls Church to Roslyn enhanced service. Commuter Choice funding would support enhanced service on ART Route 55, a local bus running between the East Falls Church Metro Station and the Roslyn Metro Station via Langston Boulevard. This funding would increase frequencies on the route to every 10 minutes during the morning and afternoon peak periods. The proposed funding amount is $475,000. The next project under consideration is WMATA's Route F2X, Spring Hill Station to West Alexandria new limited stop service. Commuter Choice funding would support a new weekday limited stop bus service connecting the Spring Hill Metro Station in Tysons, West and East Falls Church Metro Stations, the Mark Center, and West Alexandria Transit Center, primarily via Route 7. Route F2X would operate every 15 minutes during the morning and evening peak periods. The proposed funding amount is $11,255,525. The next project is Fairfax County's Route 598, Reston to the Pentagon Express service. Commuter Choice funding would support the continued operation of Fairfax Connector Route 598, an express bus service operating between the Reston South and Reston North Park and Ride lots, the Pentagon, and Crystal City. The proposed funding amount is $2,514,209. The final project under funding consideration is WMATA's Route A6X, Dunn-Loring to the Pentagon new limited stop service. Commuter Choice funding would support a new weekday limited stop bus service connecting the Dunn-Loring Metro Station, Pentagon, and Crystal City Metro Station primarily via Arlington Boulevard, Route 50. Route A6X would operate every 20 minutes during the morning and evening peak periods. The proposed funding amount is $3,112,587. Before we begin the public comment portion of the hearing, I will briefly cover next steps in the I-66 Commuter Choice FY 27-28 program development process. On April 16th, NVTC's Program Advisory Committee will review the draft program of projects. On May 7th, the full NVTC Commission will be asked to approve transmitting a final program of projects to the Commonwealth Transportation Board for their approval in June. Funding for projects becomes available on July 1. We will now begin the public comment portion of the hearing. All speakers will have up to 3 minutes to provide their comment. To request to speak, please use the raise hand button. Before your comment, please state your name and the jurisdiction you are in. If you'd like to speak, please use the raise hand button on the bottom of your screen. All right, Michael Grant.
Hi, I'm Michael Grant. I'm a resident of Fairfax County, and I am very supportive of the whole program. It's very great, particularly these express bus services that help to reduce travel times. I would like to directly support the Fairfax Connector 598 bus service that goes directly from Reston to the Pentagon and Crystal City. I'm a regular rider of that route. It really cuts down time for transit users in the corridor. A lot of the riders go directly to the Pentagon, and it's about a half an hour ride from Reston to the Pentagon, whereas by metro or other routes, it could take about an hour with the transfers. So it provides a really direct connection. It benefits a lot of our military members at the Pentagon. It also goes directly into Pentagon City and Crystal City, which is a very nice and direct connection. So I'm just supportive of that project in particular as a user. I also know that many employees, like at the company I work for, are on hybrid schedules, and if didn't have this transit service, would likely not come into the office. Like I myself, and others without this type of service, wouldn't maybe come into the office as often, but the convenience of it really helps support transit use and in-office interaction for those who live further out in Fairfax County. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments, Michael. Is there anyone else on the webinar who would like to make a public comment? If so, please use the raise hand button. Not seeing anyone else wishing to speak, I'm going to turn it back over to Anne McGrain.
Thank you, Daniel. Looks like my video has been disabled. Well, thank you all for attending the public hearing. All comments will be shared with the NVTC commissioners responsible for approving the final program of projects. For more information about the Commuter Choice program, please visit novatransit.org/commuterchoice. Thank you all.